the mat, and I'll show you. I'm going to do it here. So you're going to take your right toes and curl it out so the toes curl into the mat and the right leg is just engaged. That's it. Pause here. Feel your navel draw in. Feel the toes curl and contract the thigh bone. It's a very subtle way to release the hamstring. It's kind of like a half supported plank. Who's ever just entering, please go into mute. Welcome to our party. Take the right leg and walk it over the center line of your body. So you're going to walk it over the center line of your body towards the left. So it stays behind you, and you walk it over towards the left. So now this is an IT band stretch. This is stretching your TFL, which is the hip insertion point that a lot of us have been feeling. And just breathe. And for some of us, it's really subtle, and some of us, it's more intense. So wherever you are, it's fine. Your hips are not moving with this. It's just your leg extends across your body. Pause. Take the right leg back to center, the toes curl in, and then the right leg lifts up, so it's now hip height. With the lift of this thigh, the left arm is going to extend forward. So it's opposite arm and opposite leg. Now, if you're looking all over the place, it's going to be very challenging to balance. So I recommend just a dristi, which is known as your focal point, to the top of your mat. Flex your foot a lot, contract your glute and your hamstring, and reach like we're extending our left arm forward and we're shaking hands in a visible shake, and a strong flex of your right foot. Take another breath in, draw the navel in, press the right palm down, and then release, left palm, right knee to the floor. Very simple. Extend the left leg back, curl the toes, pause here. It seems like you're not doing anything, but you're setting your body up for the practice. This is foundation. Your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. The back leg is strong. Start to let the leg cross over to the right. So as it crosses over to the right, the toes stay curled and the outer leg begins to get a subtle stretch. The hands continue to press into the mat. Your gaze is forward. Your breath is flowing. Walk the foot back to center. Then lift the leg up so it's hip height. Just hip height, because you need to know where your hips are in this practice. Neutralizing the core, stabilization here. Reach your right arm forward. Right arm reaches forward. Gaze goes forward. Reaching and stretching elongation of your body. The navel draws into the back of the spine. Take another big breath as you really find extension through the body. Right hand, left knee to the floor. Curl the toes into the mat. Fire up your legs. Keep your hands the way they are. Plank position. Now, you can keep your knees down every time we hit plank. You can take chaturanga with your knees always, if you need to. Your weight is forward. If my dad is on here, check your mute, because I hear birds chirping and it's not sunny here in New Jersey. Feel the hands press into the mat, draw the navel in. Good, your gaze goes forward. You're still in plank, yes. If this is too much, drop your knees. Feel your hands press firmly into the mat. Stay with me, guys. Scissor everything in. There's a gripping of your outer arms. Your thighs are engaged. Weight is forward onto your tippy toes. Neck is long. Look forward a little. Another big breath in. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Your first down dog for the day, most likely. Bend behind your knees as much as you need. Spread your toes wide. And feel your hands press firmly into the mat. So your down dog is extremely active. It's active, but it's not complicated. So if this feels complicated, back out of it. Let your head go, grip your outer arms in, and really take a bend if you feel like it's tugging on you. So all my students with sore lower backs or hamstring issues, cut yourself some slack in here this morning. Good. Breathe. Couple more breaths in your down dog. Lift your hips up off your shoulders. That's the best cue I can give you from being far away. Lift your hips up off your shoulders. Then roll forward plank. Know the modification. Knees can drop to do this. Fine. Plank position. Fire up. Very slowly, your right hand's going to walk out about 2 inches and your left hand's going to walk out about 2 inches. This is going to be done really slow. It's an isometric exercise. The right hand's going to come back underneath your right shoulder. The left hand's going to come up back underneath your left shoulder. Pause. Take your right knee to your navel. Draw the shin bone away from the floor. Extend your right leg back. Lower the right foot. You're back to plank. Hug your left knee to your navel. Keep your gaze just a little forward. Extend your left leg back. Lower the foot to the floor. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Your gaze is forward. Your knees can drop. Re-straighten your arms, plank. If you went too deep, you're in trouble. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Wasn't that fun? 2 more times. Plank position. Plank position. Walk your right hand out a little. Right hand. Walk your left hand out a little. Pause. You're in an extended plank position. Walk the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Walk the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Keep your gaze forward. Hug your right knee in. You can do this with more of a down dog if it's too much. Slide the right leg back. Hug the left knee to the navel. Slide the left leg back. Bend your elbows for your version of chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to plank. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale loudly out. 1 more. Roll forward plank. We got to build heat, guys. Gaze is forward. Right hand comes out an inch. Don't hyperextend. Left hand comes out an inch. Right hand comes underneath right shoulder. You can drop your knees if it's too much. Left hand underneath left shoulder. Stay with me. Keep your gaze forward. Right knee towards navel. Right leg back. Left knee towards navel. Left leg back. Chaturanga, any version you like. Plank position. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Drop your back knee. If you have blocks, 1 or 2, just have them by the side of your block, your mat, so you have a little support. Come to your fingertips. Now, if you can see my back leg, it's on an angle. So if your kneecap is jamming into the mat, slide the knee back a little so the thigh bone gets a stretch. This is your psoas. Come to your fingertips and just pause. If you need blocks, bring them underneath your hands. If you don't have blocks, envision something lifting you up. Feel the weight in your right heel. Good. Right knee, right ankle, always have to be lined up. Sweep your arms up. This is a very controlled action we're going to do. Arms are going to reach back. We're going to start to move the right leg so it flexes. And if you have blocks, they can go underneath your hands. If you don't have blocks, you can reach the floor. The chest stays lifted and you're not sitting back on the heel. It's a strong flex of your right foot. Relax your face, breathe. Good. Now the weight's going to come forward. You're going to bend your knee, arms come back up to frame your face. Good. Do it again. Arms reach back, and as they reach back, your leg straightens and you see if you can get that hamstring release. It's kind of like a runner's lunge. Breathe. Rebend the front thigh, arms extend up. Good.
Remember that
reach the arms back.
% of the blondes will be gone in the world.
Mute yourself. I don't know who the blondes of the world are going to be. My hair is dark, huh? Reach your arms back. I have arms reach back, hamstring release. Take your block, place it underneath your left hand, place it up high. IT band stretch, this one is brutal. Right arm extends up. If you've been running, cycling, walking, this is a tough one. Create a lift for your torso. Stack the 2 shoulders. If bringing the right arm up towards the sky is too much, have your hand on the flat part of your back and just twist your ribs and look up a little bit. Strong flex of your right foot, ladies and gentlemen. Stay here. Good. To get out, look forward, rebend the leg. Good. Now you're in a low lunge, the fingertips are on the ground. Back leg engages. Swing your right hip back. Your right leg is bent. If it's too much, you keep your knee down. Arms reach back like a set of airplane wings. Grip your outer hips in. Draw the navel in, your gaze goes forward. Hug the shoulder blades together, feel the weight in your right heel. A lot of action in your left glute and hamstring. Bring your arms up, high lunge. High lunge. Good. Hold high lunge, sit deep into your front thigh, not into the knee, not into the joint. Lift the waist. If it's too much, you drop your back knee, reach your arms up. Another big breath in. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Keep your right foot where it is. Turn your back foot on its side. Don't come up. Your back foot is set up for warrior 1, not warrior 2, warrior 1. Swing the right hip back, anchor the feet, root to rise, warrior 1. Outer blade of back foot ideally is pressing into the mat. If it doesn't work out for you, take a second crescent lunge. Swing the right hip back, drive the left thigh bone forward. There should be a little movement in your ribs so you can lift up out of your waist. Gaze up. If you stop breathing somewhere along the line, come back to us. Bring the hands down to the floor, step to a plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Pull yourself through an up dog, point your toes. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Left foot steps, back knee drops. I'm gonna keep my toes curled. I'm gonna slide my kneecap back a little. I'm gonna move my blocks so I know if I need them, they're here for me. I'm on my fingertips with my back knee down. Pause. If you did nothing else today but this stretch, this will open you up. Breathe right here. Good job. The weight is in your left heel and your alignment is foremost. Sweep your arms up by your ears. Do this next. Good. If your right kneecap is jamming into the floor, slide the thigh bone back a little bit so you're a little bit more comfortable. The arms are gonna reach back like airplane arms. As you do that, the action of that gets you set up for this hamstring release. Flex the foot. If you need blocks, bring the floor up to you. If you don't have blocks, just reach back. Flex the foot, find your balance. Rebend the front thigh, extend the arms up. You got it. Reach your arms back, slide the left leg back, flex the foot. So if you're more mobile, the fingertips come, you're able to get a little deeper into the pose. If you're not, it's okay. Rebend the leg, reach your arms up. So it's joint mobility, bend into the left thigh, feel the weight in your heel. One more time, reach your arms back, extend the leg, flex the foot. This time if you have that block or a book or a pillow, place it underneath your hand, underneath the shoulder, guys, somewhere in the middle of the leg, and then extend the left arm up. If bringing the left arm up creates discomfort, hand to the flat part of your back. Strong flex of your foot, it's gonna get in there. Breathe. Scissor the outer thigh in so you can really grip, draw the belly in. Good, take one more big breath in. To get out, you wanna look down first. Place both hands to frame your front foot, move your block to the side, rebend the leg. Activate your back leg, you're on the ball of your foot. Scissor the left thighs to get the thighs together, drift and squeeze that hip back, and then reach your arms back, airplane the arms. Palms face down, shoulder blades hug together, reach your arms up. High lunge, crescent lunge. And if you feel like you can't balance, walk your feet a little bit wider apart. Got it. Scissor the legs together. Bring your dripsy forward. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Turn your back foot onto its side. Fire up the thigh bone so the thigh bone turns forward. Steer your left hip back, then rise up, warrior one. You got it, guys. I'm gonna see who's not on mute here. Warrior one. Warrior one, use the outer blade of your back foot and then sit a little deeper. Bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Plank position. When you get to plank, lower halfway chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Really nice work. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. Don't worry about hopping, jumping. Nobody gives a crap. Yeah, if you want to float, that's fine. Long spine on the inhale breath. Now listen, if your hands are dangling like a wet noodle, you want to bend your legs, okay? Bring your weight forward or bring your hands to your shins. So long spine, fold over yourself. Do that again. Come to the fingertips or press your hands into your shins. Keep your weight forward, forward, fold over the legs. Root to rise, come all the way up. Reach big. Bring your hands to prayer. Now your feet can be hips width distance or they can come together. Stretch your arms up. Dive over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Your hands can be on your shins, guys. Fold over yourself. Root to rise, come up. Connect movement with breath. Draw your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Again, stretch your arms up. Dive over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Fold in half. Root to rise, come all the way up. Hands come to prayer at heart center. Drop your arms. Last one, stretch your arms up. Dive over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine, fold in half. Good. Root to rise, come up. Keep your arms up. Now sit chair pose. Now chair pose can be done with your feet apart. If you need to create hips width distance, do that. If you feel like you're putting too much pressure in your lower back. If it's a real struggle to have your arms up like this, arms can just reach back like swimmer arms. Palms will face down. Good. Worry about the lower half of the body right now. Drop the seat. Keep the neck long. Dig the heels into the floor. If your arms are straight, from your elbows to your fingertips, straighten your arms. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Plant your palms, 2 big steps or a light float chaturanga. Upward facing is a back bend, downward facing. Right foot steps, back foot onto its side, warrior 1. You got it. Hands come down, plank position. Now at this point, if you want to skip chaturanga, that's fine, it's up to you. Upward facing, if you're taking it's a back bend and a new breath. Downward facing, everyone looks really good. Left foot forward, back foot onto its side, warrior 1. Remember, steer your left hip back and your right thigh and ribs forward. Hands to the floor, plank position. Decide what you need. Chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing. You be still in down dog. Couple breaths. Couple breaths in downward facing dog. You get yourself together. Lift your hips up off your shoulders. Let your head, your jaw, your neck, everything drop. Good. Look where you want to go. Step or float. You can just take 2 big steps to get you to the top. Yes, long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight is in your heels. So remember, your alignment is first. Your weight goes in your heels, your seat goes back, and your chest lifts. And less is more. Sit a little deeper. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine to set you up. 2 big steps or a light chaturanga, if you can get there. Upward facing, downward facing. Right foot forward, you're not moving too fast, guys. Warrior 1. So enough that you can feel everything here that you're doing. Hands come down to a plank. You get yourself to plank, you bend your elbows if you're taking the chaturanga. Pull your heart through an up dog. It's like you're moving through molasses. Down dog. Left foot steps, back foot on its side. Warrior 1. Try and move on the exhale breath, it's hard. Hands come down to a plank. You get to your plank, you decide what you need. Chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing, be still. Movement of your shoulders is away from you. Grip the mat with your hands. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine weight is forward. Fold over your legs. Sit again into chair. Weight in your heels. Look forward. Drive your heels into the floor. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Long spine on the inhale breath. Step or float. Plank to a chaturanga. You decide what you need. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot lands, back foot on its side, getting a little momentum. Warrior 1. Do it again. These are sun bees. Hands come down, plank. Skip the chaturanga if you're not into it. Up dog. Fire up your thighs, point your toes. Downward facing, lift from your hips. Left foot lands, back foot on its side. Warrior 1. Hands to the floor, plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing, point. Downward facing, back. Leave it behind. Big breath in. Big breath out. Look where you want to land. Arrive safely at the top of the mat. You can step, you can float. Long spine on the inhale, weight is forward. Fold over yourself. Sit into chair. Extend your arms up. You got it. Slide your hands to prayer. Drop your seat. Hook the elbow and twist to the right. Left elbow hooks to the outer thigh. Go the other way. Yeah. Watch your knees. So if the knees are sliding past one another, you know immediately you're out of alignment. So twist a little less and really work on your alignment. Dropping your seat. If you feel that you want to open up your arms today and you can keep it together, you give it a go. If not, waist is long, crown of the head is coming forward, your weight is back. And then look right, look up a little. Good. Stay with me, guys. Shift the weight back into your heels. Feel the legs bending in half. Pull around to chair. Shoot up to stand. Draw your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. We're going to do the other side. Here we go. Stretch the arms up. Drop your seat. Chair pose. Bring your hands to prayer. Hook the elbow and twist. This can be done with your knees separated, your feet separated, hips width distance. You can even slide a block in between if lower back is sensitive. Keep the right knee from sliding past the left. Dig the heels into the floor. Sit a little deeper. Open up your arms if you did on the right side. You got to be consistent. Good. Keep the shape of your legs. Don't bounce up. Pull around to chair. Fix your eyes forward. Press up to stand. Draw your hands to prayer. So the next part, stay where you are. I'm going to turn towards the camera so you can see. Standing on your left leg, take your right leg and bend it up into tree pose. Tree pose. Now my tree looks like this, high up, but you can definitely be down low and just create the shape. You may find your balance to be a little floppy here at home. That's okay. Good. So just work on this basic shape of tree. It's an external rotation of your right thigh and a strong, firm left leg. If you're near a wall and you're really having trouble, lean against the wall. Sweep your arms up. Good. And just work on the basics. Are you breathing? Are you engaged in your lower belly? Fire up your left leg, lift the lower ribs, and then extend up through your arms. So then for the next part, you're gonna move in steps. The right foot is just gonna float away from the inner thigh. So you're just kind of hovering like a dog at a fire hydrant. Keep the lift, keep the lift. Keep lifting the thigh bone up, good. Wrap the leg forward. So you're now standing up on one leg with the right leg bent. This may be where you stay today, just working on your balance. This is your hip flexor working. Flex the foot. If you wanna move on, hook the big toe. You should get the toe pretty easily. Left arm drives up, right leg will hinge forward. Shoulder will draw back into the socket and you should be able to stand up here. Grip the left thigh underneath you. The growth comes from the left side of your body. So once again, if you're just standing with your right leg bent, work here. 90-degree angle, lift the lower belly. Another big breath in. If the leg is extended forward, release the leg, both arms up. Rebend the right thigh. Everyone's together here. Lower the right foot down. Bring your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. It's done. You got to do the other side. Standing on your right leg, bend your left leg into the shape of a tree. Once again, like this, can be low. Focus on the outer hips. Hands start in prayer. Standing on your right leg, arms can reach up. Good. Feel your foot press against the inner part of your leg. Pull the lower belly in. And if you fall, you try again. Not a big deal. Lift up a little higher. Keeping your right leg strong, your arms lifted. Float the foot away from the inner thigh. So just the lift of the outer thigh. Hold. Don't worry about how high you're lifting it. Just float it away. Then hug the knee in. Flex the foot. You may choose to just stay right here. Grip the right thigh. Yes. Reach down, grab the big toe. Extend the leg forward. So at the studio, I'd probably be yelling at you all not to be kicking your leg out to the point that you're going into your lower back. You're only kicking with what hamstring ability you have. Stand up with your right side of the body. Draw the left shoulder back into the socket. Don't open your hip. Keep the leg forward, even if the knee is just bent. If you fall, try again. Another breath in. Lift a little higher, fix your eyes on something that's not moving. If your leg is hooked, your toe is hooked, reach both arms up. Lift it from the inner thigh, lift it a little higher. Rebend the leg, everyone's together here. Lower the left foot down, draw your hands to prayer. At the top of your mat, sweep your arms up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine, plant your palms. You're gonna set up for a crow, okay? Crow pose can be done with the arches of your feet together, palms pressing down and knees high up in your upper armpits. Squat malasana. You're like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to fall on my face. I don't feel comfortable. Take the hip opener. Wider with your feet, drop down. If you're working into crow, bring your weight more forward. Good. Draw the navel in. Good. Some of you already hopped out of it. We're still in it. So try it again. Crow, arches of your feet together. Look forward. Jody, bring your feet together. Feet together. Step or float when you're ready. Chaturanga Dandasana. And if it wasn't so pretty, it's okay. Chaturanga Dandasana. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Good work, guys. Stay with me. Right foot's going to step forward. Back foot's going to turn on its side. From the ground up, take your block, if you do have it, place it to the instep of your foot. This is a place where you put a block or a pillow. Right hand's going to go flat. Left arm will extend up. Now, if you look at your back left foot, it should be turned in enough that your thigh bone and your hip can go with you. Good. Alternative, arm resting on top of thigh. This is modified extended side angle. So your right arm would just rest on the top of your right thigh. The two options. I like to tent my fingertips to get out of the wrist. Good. Grip your right glute underneath you because there's a tendency to want to stick out. Tuck it underneath you. And then twist only where there's ribs. Now for today's practice, I just want our arms to extend really open. If you're dying to bind, go for it. If you know how to bind, you're going to bind. But if not, just stay right here and really focus on your leg strength, your core strength, the crown of the head leaning forward. Use the back of your right tricep to press against the inner right thigh. Twist the ribs. There you go. So your belly turns towards the ceiling and your eyes drift up. You're still in it. If you took some sort of bind, release so your arms are stacked the way everyone else's are. Anchor your feet, pull up warrior two, don't bounce. Warrior two. Warrior two. Your right foot is turned out, your left toes are turned in enough, and they're in the same line of energy, meaning it's the same heel to heel or heel to arch. Your torso is not turning over your front thigh, it is stacked in between your body. The sides of your body lift you up. 5 breaths, you can close your eyes. Try not to tuck your tailbone, lengthen. Turn up the inner part of your right thigh to the outside of your right baby toe, like you did in tree pose, same rotation of that leg. Everyone's feeling something. Sit a little deeper. Good, open up your eyes if they close. Straighten your right leg. Scooch your left foot in, find triangle pose. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Trikonasana, triangle pose. I like a block sometimes behind my right calf. Martina, soften behind your right knee. Take your hand to the front of your shin. Pull up like you're moving your pant leggings. Yes, there you go. Awesome. Yeah, and if the stance feels like it's too wide, simple solution, just scooch your feet in so they're a little tighter together. That's it. Crown of the head is coming over the front right foot. There's a lift of your ribs. There's a lift of your ribs. 3 more breaths wherever you are. Your arms are stacked nicely. Your legs are nice and straight. Maybe the soft bend behind the knee. More breath, guys. Breathe Ujjayi breath through the back of your throat. You're going to look down, bring your left hand to your hip, pause. Move your weight forward, bring the block with you, floating to a half moon. So this is a balancing pose. And if you don't have a block and you feel like your balance is a little off, you can lean against a wall. Your whole body would go this position against the wall. Imagine my fireplace was right behind me. I would lean against the wall, flexing the foot, stacking the shoulder. Keeping the right foot forward is the most important part. And the yoga practice is not meant to be perfect. So if you fall out and you get sloppy, you come back again. Adding Chopasana for those of you that I know are just dying to go into it. Catching that left heel, kicking behind you. Maybe drifting your right hand away from the floor. Stay with me. If you added anything into this, embellishments, release to a regular half moon. Look down. Left hand comes to the floor, square your hips. Step your feet together at the top of your mat. Come to the fingertips, long spine, fold over your legs. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. We're still working the right leg. Step your left foot back about 3 feet. Walk it over to the right a little. Right hand comes to your hip. Left arm extends up. Stretch up really big. Come forward halfway. Steer the hips back. If you don't have a block, your hand goes on the flat part of your shin. Yep, your left palm to right shin. And right hand comes to the flat part of your back. If you do have use of a block, place it to the instep of your foot underneath your shoulder and steer your hips back. So just like we did before in that runner stretch, this is very similar. Press into the outer blade of your back foot. Use the back leg. The strength of your back leg is really helpful. And then if you can, you'll stack your body. Right arm may reach up. Your drishti may go up. The legs are straight, the arms are straight, the best that you can. Steer your hips back, draw your navel in, and twist a little deeper. If your hand is pressing into your shin, really make that a strong commitment. Here, press firmly. 2 more breaths. Good. Another big breath in. You're going to look down, place both hands to the floor. Step back plank with happiness, plank. Plank position. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing. Hey, if you want, throw another chaturanga in. Stay close to the floor. Plank position from your chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Just step it to the middle of your hands though. Turn your back right foot onto its side. So don't even come up yet. Make sure the right foot is angled enough. Use a block, place it to the instep of your foot. Place your palm down. So go left hand. Yep. Right arm extends up. I have a special guest in my yoga room and he's doing very well. I don't want to embarrass him. Reach your right arm up. Breathe. So extended side angle, this is the B variation. So this is the variation where if you did want to add a bind, a half bind or a full bind, you would start to incorporate that now safely. There should be a lift of your ribs and you should be able to lean back in it though. If not, just work really basic. Maybe come to your fingertips, maybe even option for the modified version. I'm doing that now. Arm would rest on the top of the thigh. Grip your left hip underneath you and twist your ribs. And then breathe. Breathe right here. Use the back of your tricep to encourage the thigh to continue to open. Eli, Nancy, you look good. Julie looks good. Stay with it. I see a bunch of cute young girls doing a great job. Give me a thumbs up. That's awesome. Where you can get a little lighter, take another big breath in. If you added a bind, you're gonna not bounce. You're gonna come out slow with everybody else. Both arms extend up, pull yourself up, warrior 2. Warrior 2. Warrior 2, yeah. Hold warrior 2. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Turn up the inner part of your thigh bone and drop down into the pose. Close your eyes right here. Warrior 2. Just a few more breaths. So what I mean, guys, when you turn up the inner part of your thigh is that you want to make sure that your leg isn't drifting in. You want to turn it open so you can really keep that thigh bone set up nicely. 2 more breaths. You're doing great. Reach across both your arms. Your right arm gets lazy. Good. Okay. Open your eyes if they're not already open. Straighten your left leg. Scoot your right foot in. You're going to tip into triangle. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. If you are using the block, it goes to the outside of your calf. Outside of calf, and place it its highest direction to give yourself the best advantage. Right arm extends up. For those of my bendy friends, remember your knee, you don't want to press back into it. That's hyperextension. Keep a soft bend behind it. Lift your waist, lift your ribs, and look up. Settle in right here. Feel the back right thigh and how strong and straight it is. The transition to the next pose is slow. If your hand is on a block, that's good. Bring your right hand to your hip, move the block with you out in front of you or whatever's on the ground, and then float half moon. Make it slow. Keep your left foot gripping forward, and the block is about 6 to 10 inches forward underneath your left shoulder. Right hand can stay on hip, or right arm can extend up. Spark up your right toes, draw your navel in, and fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Add in what you need. Chopasana is a back bend. Maybe work on lightness of your left hand. And if you fall, it's okay. Stay with me, guys. If you took a Chopasana, release to regular Ardha, that's half moon. Our transition is its own pose. So first look down, then bring your right hand down and square your hips. Then step your right foot to meet your left. Come to the fingertips, long spine, fold over your legs. Root to rise, come all the way up, draw your hands to prayer. Keeping your left foot exactly where it is, step your right foot back about 3 feet. Make sure the thigh is turning forward. Left hand on hip, right arm extends up. The extension of your right leg is really helpful. Come forward about halfway. Move your hand to the flat part of your back, so you're giving yourself a little adjustment. Right hand can just rest on the front of your shin. Both legs are relatively straight here. There you go. Or slide a block underneath your right hand. Keeping your hand on the flat part of your back for your balance, begin to turn up your ribs and look up. Left arm may stack up. If the stance is too long, it's tight. It's not gonna work. And if it's too short, it's gonna feel like you're on a tightrope. Good. Steer the hips back, stack the shoulders on top of one another, even if the arm is bent. Stay with me. Another big breath. Anchor your feet, squeeze your inner thighs together. Now to get out, look down. Place both hands to the floor, step back plank. Lower in half, chaturanga. Pull yourself through that great up dog, and if you wanna add another chaturanga, stay close to the floor. Fire up your thighs, keep your gaze forward, straighten your arms. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Integrate your whole body, come up, high lunge. Aren't we having fun? You're almost there. Slide the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, and twist. Drop the back knee if this is too much. So you want to hook your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. And if your whole body starts to move, you've gone too deep into the pose. The only thing that's twisting is your ribs. Back leg is strong. And the weight is more forward in the ball of your left toes. Feel the bend in your front thigh. Sit a little deeper. Open up your arms if you want more. We're still in it. Scissor the inner and outer thighs. Hug especially your right glute underneath you. 2 more breaths. Look to the floor. Pause. Plant both hands. So I'm going to move you into a slow transition of side plank Vashisthasana. Those of you that want to go and hook the big toe, follow along. Side plank Vashisthasana is where we're going. Left palm firms up. I'm going to hook my big right toe. Hook it in. Begin to roll to the outer blade of my left foot. Do that first. Firm up your left arm. I start to hug my right knee to my navel. Grip my bottom left hip. My right leg then extends up towards the sky. If you fall out, it's okay. Side plank Vashisthasana, modify with the bottom knee. The extension of the toe hook straight up, lengthen the tailbone. Breathe. If you took the toe hook, look down, step back to a low lunge. Nice work. Step back plank position, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing, downward facing. So guys, if that didn't work out or if it's not in your practice, you're just taking Vashisthasana side plank. When we get to that, side plank looks like this. Okay, here we go. Step your left foot forward. Activate your back leg, rise high lunge. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath, hook your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. right elbow, left thigh. Back leg is strong. Inner and outer thighs are gripping together. Lean back a tad. See how that works out for you? Because you want to try and straighten out your spine. Yeah. Drop your back knee if it's too much. Yeah. There's a lift of your waist. So if your chest is completely dumped down, lift up a little bit more. Grip the left hip underneath you. Two more breaths. Why not? Another big breath in. Okay, let's transition together. Look down. Place both hands down to begin. Right hand down, Vashisthasana side plank if you're going. If you'd like to join me, hook the big toe. Then roll to the outer blade. If you do it slow, you're really going to feel. Hug the knee to the navel, grip the bottom hip underneath you, firm up the right hand, and then extend the left leg up. Flex the foot. Lean back just a little bit. Spark up your toes. Vashi can be done with the bottom knee down. Take another big breath. If you have the toe hook like me, I'm going to try and step back into my low lunge, then release my big toe. Everybody look down, plank position. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing pulls you through. Downward facing presses you back. Roll forward to plank. Drop your forearms to the floor. So if you do have a block, you can take the block in between your palms, just like this. If you don't have a block, it's okay. Yeah, take it this direction. Feel the hands on the outer part. If this is too much for you, drop your knees and take it supported. Yes, draw the belly in, look forward. So those of you who are like, okay, I don't want to do any more ab work. I just want to work on going upside down or maybe dolphin pose. You can start to tighten in. If you want to work core, stay with me. I'll give you a little more. Lengthen your tailbone. Lift your right leg up. So you're in forearm plank with your right leg lifted. Right knee is going to drift towards your right tricep. It's not going to touch. So go outside of elbow, right leg back. Lower the right foot. Left knee, left tricep. It's not touching. Weight is forward. Left leg back. Do it again. Right knee, right leg back. Left knee, left leg back. Again, right knee, right leg back. Left knee, left leg back. Pause. Look forward. Those that are upside down, you chose smartly. Take another big breath. You're going to meet us in Sphinx pose, all the way down on our belly. Sphinx pose is a great posture. Elbows are going to come out a little further. Hopefully you can all see me. Palms are flat. So you notice that my shoulders and my elbows have a little bit of an angle. So bring them out a little further. Yes. Lift your chest. I like to have my feet hips width. So point your toes and separate your feet a little. Feel your chest pull through your body like you're moving the floor of the mat towards you. Good. So you should feel a subtle stretch through your abdominal wall and a very subtle back bend. So those of us with bad lower backs, this is fabulous. Take another big breath in. Good. You're going to lower all the way down. You're going to reach your arms back now. Palms are going to stay flat, or you can clasp your hands. Either way, I don't care. Take a big breath in. You're going to lift everything up. Everything lifts. So either the hands are clasped or the arms are separated. Lift a little higher. Lift a little higher. Keep your neck long, low. Release, forehead to the floor. Hands are going to bend down by your belly button. Yes, a little higher up. Yes. Bend your elbows in, curl the toes into the mat, fire up your thighs. From here, press to a chaturanga. Wrap your triceps in, straighten your arms, plank, downward facing dog. Slide your right knee forward, half pigeon. I'm gonna give an alternative for those of us with bad knees or hips. So half pigeon looks like this, go to it now. Onto your back, if you need an alternative. Foot can stay flat to the floor, or you can grab in between the triangle space and take ankle to knee on your back. So those are my yogis that practice a lot. If you prefer to take double pigeon instead of half pigeon today, you can come up and I'll demonstrate that here. External rotation, feet flex. Yes, I want you to pick what works for you today. We'll be here for the next minute or so. If you are in excruciating pain, go onto your back and find something more restorative. You want to make sure that you're not jamming your knee into the floor and your calf is out from underneath you if you're in half pigeon. So you're going to feel things, and you're going to start to think, you're going to get distracted. Just breathe and hold the pose. Stay a little longer. If you're in double pigeon, extend your legs out and move them behind you. If you're in half pigeon, curl the back toes under, just press yourself back, down dog. You can just pump out your legs a couple times if that feels good. And then when you're ready, I actually hate saying that because sometimes we're never ready. Glide your left knee forward, half pigeon. So it's not an option. Some sort of hip opener on the left side. Come forward. So remember, your left hip and your left knee are relatively in the same line of energy. If my calf is underneath me, I'm not going to get the appropriate stretch. So the calf muscle moves away from you, and that gives you the space to fold. Good. If it's painful, come onto your back and take ankle to knee. Double pigeon, if that's what you chose. Strong flex of your feet, and the two knees would line up on top of one another. And when the thoughts come or the sensation comes, just breathe and allow yourself the time and the space right now. Just a drop longer. Come up nice and slow. Wherever you are, you take your time. If you're in half, you're just going to swing your right leg around. If you're in seated like me, I'm just going to extend my legs out and forward. Just extend them out long and forward. And we'll use our block here. If you don't have a block, that's fine. You'll bend your knees as much as you need. Arms are going to come up, and we'll take a nice forward fold, okay? So if, once again, this isn't something that's in the card, you have to bend your legs. Bend your legs a lot, because when you're working on your hamstrings, yeah, and you can use a strap too. If you have a strap, that's fine. Yeah. A towel. Yeah, anything. Keep a little bend behind your knees if you feel like you're just going into your lower back. Right. And then fold yourself down as best that you can. Flex the toes. Try not to lead with your head. Yes. Keep your chest open a little bit. Okay, pull yourself up. If you do have that block, you're going to take Baddha Konasana right now. The block's going to go the long direction out in front of you, and the feet will be placed up. Once again, a pillow is great because it's just elevating. So I'm creating this butterfly shape with my legs. So it's an external rotation of the hips, and it is a forward fold. Yeah, so just sit up really tall. So students like Nancy, I don't even want you really folding in this. I just want you to use your elbows to encourage your thighs to drop open and get the hip opener. And then if you've got a healthy lower spine, you begin to fold. Once again, try not to lead with your head, right? Even if you don't go that far, use the elbows to press my inner thighs open and create that external rotation of the thighs. Good, another big breath in. You're gonna pull yourself up. We'll take our feet directly to the floor, just directly to the floor. My palms are gonna go directly behind me, and we're gonna go into reverse tabletop position. I really like this for a back bend. First set, we'll stay together. Inhale the breath, the creases of the wrists are forward, right. Inhale, and then you're gonna lift your tailbone. Lift your tailbone. Now, it's good to look down the center line of your body and make sure it's not a sad state of affairs. If you see that you're sinking down, you wanna lift and elevate yourself up. You wanna feel from your tailbone to the backs of your knees that you can be strong. The outer arms firm in and your knees aren't winging open. You want to turn the inner thighs down. Feel your feet. Good. Exhale the breath, lower down. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Repeating, for those of you who are a little bit more advanced or want to work further, follow along. Lift yourself up. Good. Now I'm going to start to slide my feet out. Good. And then lift. You can point your feet towards the ground or you can flex. Either way works for me. Lift up. Take another big breath in. Walk your right foot back, tabletop, left foot back. Exhale the breath, lower down. Good. Lower all the way to your back. We'll set up from here for bridge, followed by wheel. Okay, so we're just working step by step. Block is great if you have it. I'm gonna give you that one because it's more supportive. Okay. Take the feet flat to the ground. Interlace the hands underneath your lower back. This is first option. You should be able to skim your fingertips to the backs of your heels. If you like to use the block, slide it the longest direction underneath your lower back. If this is too high, work it out so it's an in-between version for you. The block should not be digging into your lower spine. Lay down first and then set the block up second. For those of you that are using a block and you'd like to extend your right leg up towards the sky, go ahead and do that now. Or if you know you can do this with your hands clasping your arms underneath your body, flex your right foot. Perfect. Perfect. Lower your right leg back down. Take your left leg straight up. Lower the left leg back down. Take both feet to the floor. Remove any objects out from underneath you. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. You're going to do one more. Here we go. If you want to go for a full wheel, we'll flip our palms, bring our chin to our chest. The way I teach this, I don't have you come to the crown of the head. Our chin will tuck towards our chest. We'll take a giant breath in, and on the exhale breath, you'll lift. Work out your feet. Turn your feet forward. Press into your hands. From your tailbone to the backs of your knees, you lift up. If you're up in full wheel and you'd like to bend your elbows in half, come down to a half little push-up. Re-straighten your arms. One more, full wheel. You're up, bend your elbows, wrap your biceps and your triceps in, straighten your arms, full wheel. Tuck your chin, come out. Wherever you are, you lower yourself out. Hug your knees to your chest, give them a big squeeze in. Final few movements, grab the outer edges of your feet. For a happy baby, pull your knees down around your rib cage. If you can't get hold of your feet today, just grab behind your thighs and encourage those thigh bones to come around the ribs. As you drop your tailbone down onto the ground, soften your shoulders. Hug your knees to your chest. A little supine twist. If you have the block, take it the long direction in between your thighs. Lift your hips to the left, drop your knees to the right. Take your right hand on your left thigh and have your left arm like a cactus on the ground. You have no block, just stack the two knees on top of one another. Make sure they're as high up as your hips. Keep the block if you have it. Come to center, drop the knees over to the left, upper body to the right. This is very subtle. Hand rests on the outside of your right thigh. Encourage those thighs to drop to the floor. Rock up slowly to center. Remove any objects that you have in the way. Draw your knees in, like wrap in. Give yourself a big squeeze, a big juicy squeeze. And the most important part of the practice, Shavasana. You're going to set yourself up right now. Separate your arms, separate your feet, turn your thighs and your feet open. Let go of your Ujjayi breath. And on your next exhale breath, just let your pelvis and everything drop down. Complete stillness. If you would like to enjoy more time, just mute me. If you need to go back to life, take a big breath in. Take a loud exhale breath out. Bring your arms up over the top of the head, a full body stretch. Hug your knees firmly in towards your chest and bring yourself up to a seated position. And joining me in the seated position at the top of your mat, hands need to touch something, tops of thighs, hands can turn to prayer. I like to turn my fingers forward, offering this practice up and out. There's always someone in the world who needs this more than us. Be grateful. Bow your head with a lot of gratitude. Lift your head, open your eyes. We say namaste. Thanks for joining me, guys. This was awesome. I'm teaching again tomorrow at noon, so check me out.